I know lately a lot of people are making videos about all the bills that are being introduced that are anti-gun, all the regulations that are being introduced that are anti-gun, all the restrictions that are being proposed against guns. It all, it can be really crushing, it can be really disheartening, it can be just really discouraging. But I wanted to make a point here, and I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. I want to talk about that, yes, even though we are losing some places like Colorado and New York, I haven't lost Colorado yet, but it's a possibility, a lot of places are really winning their fight. And I want to center on that for a moment. Like here locally in Oregon and Washington, in Oregon, the people that have proposed the assault weapons ban and things such as that have already rescinded the bills because they got such a negative feedback on them, because people like you and me, we stood up and we were heard. In Washington, we already have, people on both sides of the aisle, left and right, saying, I'm not going to touch this bill with a 10-foot pole. It's not going to get through committee. It's never going to get voted on because it's political suicide. And I'm seeing all over the country a lot of politicians coming out and saying this is political suicide. Even voting on this is political suicide. We saw during the State of the Union address the president was whining about how nobody would even vote on the bills and how they deserve to be voted on. Well, the very fact that people don't want to vote on them and that politicians know it's suicide to vote on them, either one way or the other, shows you it's not something the country wants. And right now I just want to point out that we are standing up, we are being seen, we are being heard in the right way, and it's causing these politicians to say, people don't want this, and if I vote for this, they're going to hold me accountable. And that's what we need to do. So what the whole point of this video is pretty much to say, don't get discouraged, don't feel the need to act out. It's when you get discouraged, when you get depressed, when you get angry, that's when we act out and we do things wrong and we become bad examples. But when we just stand up, be heard, hold people accountable that are saying things that are stupid, that are anti-gun, that's when we're best serving our cause. And right now, when I know it's easy to say, oh, this is happening and this is happening and this is happening, keep in mind when something is really happening and when something is just, something just ridiculous is being introduced. Like if some senator just comes out and goes, I'm introducing this bill that says you can't have any guns. Well, that's really not much, because anybody can introduce anything they want. It's when they start getting passed in the House and then they go to the Senate. That's when we need to really start holding people accountable. And when they get to where they're going to be held up for a vote, when we know they're going to be voted on, that's when we really need to start worrying. But most of them aren't making that far. So we're being distracted by all these weird left-wing proposals that aren't even making it to a vote. They aren't even making it out of committee, much less making it to a vote. But we're winning so many of them. We're, like I say, politicians are saying, this is something I don't want to touch, this is something I'm backing away from. And that's happening in a lot of states. It's happened in Oregon, it's happening in Washington, and I know it's happened in several other states. So let's remember that we are winning a lot of these fights, and we're winning our fight by being vigilant, standing up, and paying attention. If this kind of stuff would have happened 15 years ago, this stuff would have been passed already. Would have gotten through Congress. You got to remember, even George W. Bush said he would have signed an assault weapons ban if it had come to his desk. So, 10, 15 years ago, this kind of stuff would have went through quickly if something like the tragedies we faced in recent past have happened. The very fact that we have the internet now, that we're able to be so organized, that we're able to be so vigilant, that we're able to pay attention is paying off. So don't lose sight of the fact it's paying off. Now, I'm not saying lay down our arms and stop paying attention. Always be vigilant, always pay attention, but keep things in perspective and realize we are winning because, every now and then you want to hear something positive. So I just, I wanted to point out that, there are some states, like I say right now, that we are definitely winning, and we're definitely winning on a national scale because national politicians don't want to touch it at all. So while you're hearing the bad news, keep the good news in mind too, and remember, it's nothing to get so depressed over right now. It's nothing to get so angry over. I mean, there is reason to be angry when people try to violate our rights, but remember, we are on the right side, and in most cases right now, we're on the winning side too.